The regular meeting of the Mishawaka Common Council for Monday, March 16th, 2026 will please come to order. Good evening. Those of you who are in attendance, we're happy to see you. If you would, please take a moment to check your cell phone to make sure that it is on silent or vibrate. And for those of you who are participating remotely, good evening to you as well. Members of the public are asked to place their microphone on mute during the meeting, and at the appropriate point in the meeting, I will invite the public to unmute their microphone for purposes of submitting such comments as they may wish to make, one person at a time. All persons making public comments will be asked to first state their name and address for the record, and after completing the comments, members of the public are once again asked to place their microphone on mute, and we thank you all for your cooperation with us this evening. At this time, if you would, please join us in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hazen?
Here.
Mrs. Volker?
Here.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Benicki?
Here.
Mr. Emmons? Ms. Hahn?
Here.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Here.
Mr. Violi?
Here.
Mr. Hixenbaugh?
Here. For the record, Mr. Carroll is attempting to join us remotely, so we'll have all roll call votes this evening. Approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of March 2nd, 2026. Are there any additions or corrections? Then hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as received from the clerk's office. Petitions, communications, remonstrance, and memorial.
Yes, Mr. President, we have a letter from the City Plan Commission regarding their recommendations from their March 10th, 2026 meeting. Honorable members, a regular meeting of the Mishawaka Plan Commission was held on the above referenced date, at which time the following petitions were considered. Petition number 2026-03, a request submitted by Josette Shannon requesting to vacate right-of-way located north of the property at 209 Toll Avenue. The Commission, with a vote of 9-0, recommended approval. Petition number 2026-04, a request submitted by Mish RE LLC requesting to annex right-of-way extension of Veterans Parkway north to Cleveland Road. The Commission, with a vote of 9-0, recommended approval. Petition number 2026-05, a request submitted by Sleeve League Realty LLC requesting to rezone property located at 822 West 4th Street from C1 General Commercial District to R1 Single Family Residential. The Commission, with a vote of 9-0, recommended approval. Petition number 2026-06, a request submitted by the estate of Helen Segerman requesting to vacate 2.65 acres of right-of-way located on the east side of Fur Road, north of University Drive and south of Cleveland Road. The Commission, with a vote of 9-0, recommended approval. Petition number 2026-07, a request submitted by Morningstar Properties LLC requesting to annex and establish zoning as C1 General Commercial District for property located at 15008 Grand Vistas Drive. The Commission, with a vote of 9-0, recommended approval. This is signed by Donna Witt, Administrative Planner.
Thank you. This evening, we have no report of any special committee, so we'll move into ordinances on first reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-07, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the Zoning Ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is vacation of right-of-way north of property located at 209 Toll Avenue.
Proposed ordinance 2026-07 will be assigned to the Land Use Planning Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-08, an ordinance annexing contiguous territory to the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, and providing zoning classification therefore. This is to annex right-of-way extending Veterans Parkway north to Cleveland Road.
Proposed ordinance 2026-08 will be assigned to the Land Use Planning Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-09, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is to rezone from C1 General Commercial District to R1, 822 West 4th Street.
Proposed ordinance 2026-09 will be assigned to the Land Use Planning Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-10, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is to vacate 2.65 acres of right-of-way east side of Fur Road, north of University Drive, and south of Cleveland Road.
Proposed ordinance 2026-10 will be assigned to the Land Use Planning Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-11, an ordinance annexing contiguous territory to the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, and providing zoning classification therefore. This is to annex and rezone to C1 General Commercial, 15008 Grand Vista Drive.
Proposed ordinance 2026-11 will also be assigned to the Land Use Planning Committee. Resolutions.
Resolution R 2026-08, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, introducing an ordinance for annexation, adopting a written fiscal plan, and a definite policy for annexation for property located at 55981 and 55993 North Fur Road, west side of North Fur Road, approximately 150 feet north of McKinley Avenue.
Thank you. We will now open the public hearing on proposed resolution 2026-08. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please come forward.
Good evening, President, members of the council. Derek Spears, City Planner. Offices are located here at City Hall. This fiscal plan is for an annexation that includes an approximate 4.5 acre parcel area. This is on the west side of North Fur Road, approximately 120 feet north of East McKinley. The annexation parcels, together with an acre to the south, which front East McKinley Avenue, are proposed to be redeveloped for the Granger Community Church Mission Ministry and Faith Campus. The area to be annexed is approximately 38.4% contiguous to the city limits, so this exceeds the requirement 1/8 contiguity, or 12.5%. The property that's already in the city includes a 10,000 square foot commercial building, and it was previously occupied by Hubcap, Annie, U-Haul, and Podium Sports. Prior to preparing a fiscal plan, copies of the proposed annexation are forwarded to city departments. They are then asked to review if there are any expenditures or costs required to service the area, and if it can be accommodated within the funds currently within the city budget. In this case, the property is in a pocket of unincorporated area immediately adjacent to the existing city limits, and the owner is responsible for extending utilities or connecting utilities to the site, so there is no additional expenditures are anticipated at this time for the city. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? If you would, please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone present this evening who wishes to speak in opposition? Please come forward.
Good evening. I'm Heather O'Connell. I live at 210 Gernhardt. And I'm not here necessarily to speak in opposition, but out of skepticism. I'm speaking from my own personal experience regarding GCC and its desire for community outreach. 15 plus years ago, GCC opened a community center in South Bend called Monroe Circle Community Center, also known as MC3. I participated in supporting that mission with both my finances and my sweat equity. When it began, I was very active in the community, or it was very active in the community, offering financial courses, a food bank, after-school student support, tutoring, and more. Along the way, GCC, for whatever reason, decided to abandon that mission. Their website, as a few weeks ago, still had MC3 listed as an outreach location, but GCC hasn't been active there for quite some time. The most I can find that it's been recent activity is that they have a food pantry twice a month. Today, when I looked up the website again, it's changed, stating that they will be moving out of South Bend and into Mishawaka. In addition, 10 to 12 years ago, they stated there was a large need for community preschools, and through a big push from their church, they began offering a high-quality childcare program called the Early Learning Center, which was its own separate program, but also in partnership with GCC. It was touted to be for the community, but it was very expensive and for the majority of the community. The Early Learning Center quickly became very successful and sought after, but then one day, God told them it was time for them to part ways, essentially kicking the Early Learning Center out and GCC abandoning another community outreach. The last experience I had about GCC making decisions and it's saying it's for the community was when they had a building campaign. This was 15+ years ago. Part of the campaign was for a chapel. It's so hard to have weddings and events on the weekend at Granger due to their services being on Saturdays and Sundays. And this chapel was supposed to be a place for weddings and funerals and be available for the community to use for various events. I personally gave to this building campaign. However, several years later, there was never a building or a chapel of any kind. Instead, they announced that their resources would be used and the money was given to, instead they announced to their community that the roof needed to be replaced, and to be good stewards of their resources, they used the money that was given to the building campaign and instead replaced the roof. And to this day, there is no chapel. I came out tonight out of skepticism based on my own lived experiences. Mishawaka needs a good community partner who are going to follow through on what they say they're going to do and not just go where the wind blows. I think it's in the interest of the city of Mishawaka to do their due diligence so we don't end up with another building like MC3.
Thank you. You were on a roll, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but
Sure.
technically, the matter that's in front of us at this time is the fiscal plan, which
Oh,
really, when you
sure.
boil it all down, talks about whether the city has the capacity to
Okay.
be able to provide services to this property within
Gotcha.
the confine of our existing budget. So what I'm going to suggest is that, instead of asking
back
for
up and do this
questions
again.
now, I'm going to call you to the podium when we get
Sure.
to the appropriate point, and then we'll see if any council members have any questions that they want to
Sure.
ask for follow-up. But we do appreciate your
Apologies.
remarks, and nothing to apologize for. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in opposition? If you would, please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak with regard to the fiscal plan only? If not, then I call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the fiscal plan?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons? I'm sorry. Ms. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hixenbaugh?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0. Resolution R 2026-09, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, introducing an ordinance for annexation, adopting a written fiscal plan, and a definite policy for annexation for the property located at 55660 and 55614 Fur Road, east side of Fur Road, approximately 2,100 feet north of McKinley Avenue.
Thank you. We will now open the public hearing on proposed resolution 2026-09. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please come forward.
Hello, Krista Hill with the Senior Planner with the City of Mishawaka Planning Department. This 10.5 acres is on the east side of Fur Road, approximately 2,100 feet north of McKinley. Back in 2004, we annexed the property to the south of it for a single-family home development. This 10.5 acres will be added to that with the addition of 41 new lots, and will connect into that subdivision. The contiguity then is 32%, which exceeds the 12.5 required by state law. Again, as part of the fiscal plan, we distributed it to all the city departments who can serve it without additional capital improvements. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Mr. Violi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Krista, what year did you say what was the year of the south part?
2024, so it was
20
2 years ago
2 years
we did that. That one was larger.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? If you would, please come forward. And then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone with us this evening who wishes to speak in opposition? Please come forward. And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak? If not, then I call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Han?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hixenbaugh?
Yes.
Proposed resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinances on second reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance annexing contiguous territory to the city of Mishawaka, Indiana, and providing zoning classification therefore. This is annex and establish zoning as R1 Single Family District, 55660 Fur Road. This is vote only.
Thank you. May we have the committee report, please?
Yes, Mr. President. To the members of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, your Committee on Land Use Planning, to whom was referred the matter of proposed ordinance 2026-04, report that they have examined said matter and that their opinion should be adopted. This is signed by the committee members present, and I move for its acceptance.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to approve the committee report. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Then hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the committee report?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Han?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hixenbaugh?
Yes.
8-0 is the vote in favor of the committee report.
Thank you. And with that, in light of the fact that consistent with state law, we held a public hearing on this matter at our regularly scheduled council meeting of March 10th, we will now open up the floor for questions and comments from the council. And in light of our earlier presentation, I'm going to ask Mrs. O'Connell to please come back to the podium to see if there are any questions. And I appreciate your patience with us.
Did anybody have any questions or anything I needed to elaborate on?
Any questions from the council? Not so much a question, but a comment. I appreciate what you shared with us and the heartfelt feelings that are evident in that.
Did they say adopt on that one? Because I was busy.
It's difficult when we're dealing with land use issues because we're not, as a community, necessarily vetting the business model of whomever comes to us for this type of approval. We have some statutory criterion that we have to look at to decide whether the annexation is appropriate. But it's really beyond our scope to be able to dig into the nitty-gritty of a private business or a nonprofit business like this that comes to us. So I don't at all want to come across as being dismissive of your concerns, but I struggle with the legality, or rather the lack of legal ability for us to be able to get to the issues that you cite. But I do appreciate the comments that you shared and the passion behind your words.
Thank you.
Any additional questions prompted by my comments? Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Mr. Mamalenti.
I don't have a question, but I saw Mr. Prince sitting in the bullpen wanting to come up, so.
I was going to make him sweat for a couple minutes, but Mr. Prince.
Mr. President, I just wanted to make sure the record was correct. The resolution numbers from the fiscal plan to the your action have been reversed. So the 2026-04 is actually the residential project, not the other one. So I wanted to make sure the record was reflected correctly.
Thank you. Duly noted. So Mrs. O'Connell's comments will be incorporated into the record for the next proposed ordinances that's in front of us rather than this one, and I appreciate the clarification, Mr. Prince. So with that, are there any additional questions or comments from the council with regard to the Fur Road annexation? Then hearing none, I will call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Han?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hixenbaugh?
Yes.
Passes 8-0. Proposed ordinance number 2026-05, an ordinance annexing contiguous territory to the city of Mishawaka, Indiana, and providing zoning classification therefore. This is to annex and establish zoning as C1 General Commercial and rezone from C4 Automobile-Oriented Commercial to C1 General Commercial, northwest corner of McKinley and Fur Road, 1550 East McKinley. This is vote only.
Thank you. May we have the committee report, please?
Yes, Mr. President. To the members of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, your Committee on Land Use Planning, to whom was referred the matter of proposed ordinance 2026-05, report that they have examined said matter and that their opinion should be adopted. This is signed by the committee members present, and I move for its acceptance.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and second to approve the committee report. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Then hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the committee report?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Committee report passes 8-0.
Thank you. And with that, the record will reflect that we held a public hearing on this proposed ordinance at our regularly scheduled meeting of March 10th pursuant to Indiana law. So at this time, I will open the floor for questions or comments from the council. And again, thank you to Mr. Prince for his procedural clarification. Any questions or comments from the council? And again, we'll incorporate by reference Mrs. O'Connell's comments into the correct ordinance hearing. So hearing no questions or comments, I will call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Proposed ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move into privilege of the floor. At this time, members of the public are invited to the podium to speak with respect to non-agenda items only under privilege of the floor.
Hello, my name is Joshua Lang. I live at 607 East Lowell Avenue in Mishawaka. To Mr. President and the members of the Common Council, I'm here today to speak about a historical matter in regard to Mishawaka that I think would be very important for the city of Mishawaka to consider for this year. With it being the semi-sesquicentennial of the United States this year, the 250th, I believe that celebrating our nation's birth and our nation's history is very important. The St. Joseph County has roughly only about 12 Revolutionary War veterans that are buried here. Only one of them is buried in the city limits of Mishawaka, and that is Meade Hurd. Meade Hurd was born in 1754. He was the grandfather of our city's founder, Alanson Hurd. He served in the Revolution from 1775 to 1780. He had 6 enlistments. He served in the Connecticut militia. And with that being said, he was an early adopter of American independence. In 1775, there was no Declaration of Independence. It wasn't looking good for the colonies, and he decided to take up arms to fight for freedom against the tyranny of the British Empire. Meade Hurd moved all the way from New York to Mishawaka in 1834, less than a year after the city's founding. It was nothing more than just a few dozen households. It was pretty much barren in a lot of ways. It was still woods, bog iron, everything. And he moved to Mishawaka because he believed in his grandson Alanson's vision that St. Joseph Iron Works would become a prosperous town at the age of 80 years old. He sadly, however, did not live that much longer. He passed away on July 19th, 1834 at the age of 80. He was originally buried in the First City Cemetery. However, all the bodies were moved to the now City Cemetery, which is near John Young. With that being said, I believe my recommendation to the city of Mishawaka is that on the 4th of July or July 19th, being the day of his death this year, that the city of the Mishawaka, the mayor, the common council, make a proclamation making it Mead Herd Day or something of that sort to honor him, as he is our city's first veteran. Veterans mean a lot to me. I know pretty much every single member on this council have, veterans in their family. 2 years ago, I wrote an article on Mead Herd. I did get a brick for him that is at the Veterans Plaza. I think that is a very wonderful project that the city has done in conjunction with Troop Town, and I really support that. So if there's any other ideas or suggestions that the council has, I think that would be really neat to honor our city's history and do something for the 250th anniversary of our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lang? Mrs. Volker?
Hi, thank you. Hi, it's so good to
How
see
you doing?
I did see, I think, a Facebook post that you did.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I just had a question, not
Sure.
relating to Mead Herd, but
In
where,
general,
where
yeah.
was the original city cemetery?
The original city cemetery was on the south side of the river, so somewhere over here. It was just beyond the city limits. Pete DeKeever would know exactly. But if I remember correctly, it would have been near Dodge's. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think there's any markers to indicate it. All I know is that it was at the literal end of the city limits, which is, back then, was only probably a few blocks from here. So, yeah,
Okay, well, thank you, and
Yeah, no
a great
problem.
idea.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Violi?
Thank you, Mr. President. Did you say July 19th?
July 19th, 1834, yes.
That's the date of his death?
That was the day of his death. Day of his birth was March 7th, but it already passed, so.
Well, July 19th seems to fit better with our July 4th
Yeah,
celebration period.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah,
Thanks
no
for the
problem.
information.
If there's any
Appreciate it.
other info, I can send it to you at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hahn?
Josh, I just want to say thank you for coming and being such a good steward of Mishawaka's history and memories, and we appreciate you coming here and
Thank
telling
you.
those who may not have heard about him before, and hopefully we can do something to celebrate.
Thank you very much.
Other questions or comments from the council? Then Josh, I'll echo the comments of my colleagues. I appreciate your passion for all things historical in Mishawaka. And in particular, the articles that you write for the Enterprise, I think those are all very well done. Every time I speak with you, I learn something new, including this evening, so I appreciate the information. My inclination would be for us to consider passing a resolution, which is the way that we typically honor various ceremonial events and people from a council standpoint. We would typically do that if we were so inclined to move forward with it, and I sense that there's some strong support on the part of the council to do so at one of our regularly scheduled council meetings in July, so it might be right around, plus or minus the 4th of July. But my suggestion with respect to how we move forward, and it harkens back to the comment that you just made, if you can provide additional detail to Mr. Violi, who I know that you've spoken with on this issue, between Mr. Violi and I, we'll be happy to work with you on putting together the resolution. I just volunteered Mr. Violi without asking his permission, but
That's absolutely all right with me, absolutely.
and then we can circulate that amongst the rest of the council and bring it to the council floor for action in July.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
All right. Thank you again. Any other questions or comments from the council? We will talk some more then.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
very much.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak under privilege of the floor? Please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak under privilege of the floor? Hearing no one, we will move into unfinished business.
Resolution R 2026-05, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, making a final determination and confirming the designation of areas within the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, known as 1121 and 1025 West 11th Street, as an economic revitalization area for the purposes of real property tax abatement.
Thank you. With that, we will open the public hearing on proposed resolution 2026-05. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please come forward.
Good evening, President, members of the council. Derek Spears, City Planner. Office is located here at City Hall. These resolutions are for a real and personal property tax abatement for United Pet Food Producers USA. They are proposing to expand their facility to include a new building addition for a new drying tower and installation of other manufacturing equipment. Total planned investment is over $30 million. 2 abatements have been filed, the real property improvements, one for real property and one for personal property. The real property improvements are for an $11 million expansion, adding a drying tower addition to the south side of the building. The personal property request includes $19 million for equipment and automation improvements for packaging and bulking and receiving and other machinery. The company did receive a real personal property tax abatement last June for a new warehouse facility located just north of their building. This was at 919 Cleveland Street. And after it was approved last June, they immediately started construction, and the project is currently nearing completion. They just have some interior racking to finish. With this request, the company will retain 105 employees while adding 31 jobs as a result of the investment. The hourly wages for the 30 semi-skilled new positions, excluding benefits, is approximately $24. Annual salaries for the new jobs are estimated at just over $2 million. And similar to for their other approved abatements, we are recommending a 5-year abatement for both the real and the personal property tax abatement request. And attached to your packet, there is a tax impact estimate for the 5-year phase-in if it's approved. And one of the things too, during one of the last council meetings when we had for the designation resolution, a question was asked on how the recent tax legislation would approve the personal property tax benefit. And it wouldn't have an impact on this specific tax abatement because what the state did is they increased the de minimis exception from $80,000 to $2 million. And in doing that, this company, they have already almost $6.5 million in personal property. So it would have, moving forward, they're already at that threshold. So it wouldn't have any impact or bearing on this tax abatement. For the information that was provided by the company, the real property improvements, they had projected an assessed valuation of $7.7 million. And this is equivalent to 70% of the total capital investment. We felt this was a little high, but we used this as a best guess in moving forward with the tax impact analysis. And the same with personal property. Personal property had an anticipated assessed valuation of $13.3 million for the $19 million investment. And what we did with this is, like with the other abatements as approved, the Department of Local Government Finance has an online calculator that we use. We put in the assessed value, and then it will give us the approximate tax bill, corresponding tax bill. So if we use the assessed values that were given, the estimated tax bill for the real property is approximately $267,000 a year, and then the assessed value for the personal property is approximately $444,000 a year. So if this is approved for 5 years, over the next 5 years for the abatement, the real property taxes would be approximately $1.3 million, and the owner would have approximately $770,000 abated, and they would pay approximately $500,000. For the real property taxes, the abatement would be, or the taxes paid would be $2.2 million. They would have $1.3 million abated and would pay approximately $900,000. And also of note, if approved tonight, this is an economic revitalization area for a 4-year period. So the company, when they do the project, it actually, the 5-year starting point is from when the full assessed valuation occurs for either the real property or the personal property. So if it's not fully assessed for another 2 or 3 years, then it moves forward from 5 years out from that point. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Mr. Viola.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking the time a couple weeks ago to discuss this with me. We had discussed the economic revitalization area. It's different. It's a different type of abatement. Can you elaborate what you had said on that, please?
Yeah, it's just, so essentially when we do either a real or personal property abatement, there's either like usually a 1 to 3 to 4 year window in which they have the ability to make that investment. So if they don't make that investment for another 3 years, then that's when the time starts for the 5-year abatement. So it's basically when their project is finished and when it's fully assessed. So when that assessment comes in for the new building that they're building or the new equipment, from that point moving forward, that's the trigger point for the 5-year abatement.
So it's not partially as we go.
It's not 5 years from today's approval, if it's approved today.
Well, I would ask the people from,
And Amanda Turnwald is here with us,
oh, Amanda's
too.
here? Oh, I didn't
Yes,
see Amanda.
yes.
Well, when she comes up, I have some.
So if you have any questions for the business, yes.
I'm good. for
Anything
that.
else? Thank you, Mr. Violi. Other questions? A couple of follow-ups. Thank you for the information, as always. It's very helpful. And I do appreciate the clarification on the personal property tax element of the two abatements. That was very beneficial to me, at least, as well. A couple follow-up questions. With regard to the dialogue between yourself and Mr. Violi, with respect to that 4-year period that's connected to the economic revitalization area, you talked about what would happen if it takes 3 years for the company to break ground and complete their planned project. Is it in fact the case that if they don't complete the process, or at least within that 4-year period, I guess I'll phrase it in the form of a question, what happens if they do not complete the project or even start the project within that 4-year time span?
Then they don't get the benefit of the abatement. So it's the increase from this point forward for the real property. So it's any increase in the assessment based on the construction that they do or the personal property that they purchase. So if they don't move forward, then the abatement just essentially goes away. If they only partially complete it within that 4-year period, then they would only get, it would lock, at that 4 years, it would just end. And then anything that's invested in after that 4-year period, they would not get the benefit of the abatement. So if they only partially do 50% of the purchasing of the equipment within that 4 years, that's what they would get the realization for the abatement.
And I appreciate that. And I always think of that, and tell me if you disagree with me, as being our guard against plans and reality. Clearly, there's a plan to move forward as soon as possible at this point in time on the part of this business owner. But we've had experience where people have not been able to have not been able to proceed under their original timeframe. So would you agree with me? This is one of our safeguards against the possibility of the abatement being out there indefinitely, and it's an incentive for a business owner who comes before us to move as quickly as possible to enact their plan.
Correct. And some of the larger projects like this, we usually give them a 3-year window, 3 to 4 year window. If it's a company like J-Mill Packaging before us coming in and they just have ordered one piece of equipment, we usually give them a year. You know, they say they're going to do it within a year, we give them a year. So it really is a short period. So it's also based on the time frame of what the business thinks that they're going to do also.
If memory serves, in the past couple times you've appeared before us with regard to presenting on an abatement request, it seems as though we're in an era where the number of abatements that we have active at this point in time is less than historically has been the case. And I hate to put you on the spot, but off the top of your head, do you know how many abatements we have active at this point in
We
time?
have 4, because I'm currently working on the annual compliance reporting, and that will come before the council probably early in April. So yes, we have 4 active currently. And there's usually anywhere from, I think over last year, there's maybe 2 or 3 that expired. So there's usually at least 6 or 7. And I think when I started here more like 6 or 7 years ago, we had maybe even 9 or 10. I mean, it was quite a few. So yes, over the years since I've been here, they have decreased as far as the active abatements.
I agree. And I particularly appreciate the tax impact information that you and your staff provide in support of these abatement requests. It's a dangerous thing when I do math, but hearkening back to the figures that you cited earlier, with regard to the amount of the taxes that are going to be abated with regard to both personal property and real property, by my calculation, the split between taxes abated and taxes paid over the 5-year period is that 60% of the taxes would be abated and 40% of the taxes would be paid.
That's accurate, correct.
And That, at least in my recollection, is a pretty standard schedule that we've put in place, not always, but when there has been an investment of any scope and scale, that 5-year abatement starting at 100% and then stair-stepping down has been a pretty standard recommendation, has it not?
It has, and it's all based on the amount of investment and then the employment numbers. There have been times where we've recommended, and we have the ability to do non-standard. So the standard was always, if it's a 5-year, it's 100% the first year, and then decreasing 20% over the 5-year abatement annually, right? But if it's a larger project, you as a council have the ability to approve a higher percentages over the course of an abatement.
And with regard to the abatement that's in place on the warehouse facility, and then the other abatements that we have approved for this corporate entity and its predecessor corporate entities, my general sense of it, and I believe you've referred to it in writing and here this evening, is that they have hit the mark with regard to investment that they promise, the payroll that they generate, and the employment numbers that are retained and then expanded upon historically with the abatements.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Any additional questions for Mr. Spear? Mr. Violi?
Derek, I'm just not familiar with a lot of the older, but a $30 million project like this, it sounds like a pretty big number to me for the city of Mishawaka. Would that be accurate? And especially the 19 million in personal property, given, the SEA one with the $2 million, and now we're getting, like you said, they've already met that threshold, so to add
Correct.
$19 million on top of that over the future, even past the 5-year abatement, there's going to be some serious taxes collected on that.
Correct. Even if the assessment comes in lower, like I said, we used 70%, and that's usually quite high. A lot of times when the real property is assessed or the personal property, sometimes it comes in at about anywhere from 60 to 40%. So I mean, it's kind of a bullseye it's a dartboard kind of thing, guesstimating of what that true assessed valuation is going to be based on what the improvement dollars are going to be as far as the investment.
But it just sounds like a large.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Derek.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? If you would, please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. President and board members. Amanda Turnwald. For purposes of my visit today, I'm representing 1011 West 11th Street, United Pet Food Producers. United Pet Food Producers, as you know, in USA is the first located facility in Mishawaka. We're the only one currently. We've been operating the facility since June of 2024. And recently completed the $5 million warehouse that we put in place after the abatement was approved last year. We have actually started supporting our operations out of that warehouse and are able to ship, and our pad will be completed this week, so we will have 18 functioning dock doors. We are actively hiring an additional 27 positions currently, which means that over 5 years we will have overexceeded the 30 that are in the abatement requests that we have. Currently, a large portion of our employees, as you know from my previous visits to see you all, come from within a 15-mile radius of our facility. So we are currently part of a large portion of Mishawaka's workforce, infrastructure, and really working with the pro-business aspect of your council have made our improvements and expansions possible for United Pet Food. To meet the demand and remain competitive, we are making a substantial new investment here in Mishawaka as the pet food industry is growing. As far as the real property investment, we're planning on putting $11 million into real property, constructing a new dryer tower, which will expand and modernize our existing manufacturing facility. So this investment significantly increases our assessed value of the property, as Derek discussed, which expands our tax base in the future. This is a permanent, immovable infrastructure that will be tied to our facility, this particular dryer tower. Is it okay if I talk about the personal one while we're going through my little speech?
Okay.
Please do so.
All right, so we're also looking to do $19 million in new manufacturing equipment, which includes extruders, dryers, coaters, boilers, robotics, automation, packaging, really making our jobs easier for our facility. We're also going to be doing a bulk receiving upgrade, which is a big improvement to our operational sustainability, stability, and efficiency for unloading trucks. This investment alone is important, but jobs are what truly anchor our project in the community. We currently have 100+ existing full-time jobs, which we retained when we moved from the previous owners to United Pet Food. We're currently recruiting an additional 30 new full-time jobs to be created, and we are actively hiring. Our average blended hourly wages for existing employees is roughly $31 per hour, and our new employees, we're looking at $35 per hour. We have a comprehensive benefits package for our employees that is not included in those numbers. So we provide stable, skilled manufacturing jobs within the community with wages and benefits that are supporting the families. As far as our current project, it's projected 5-year direct tax revenue of 1.64 for real property taxes, personal property and income at 1.15 million, and total new and local state revenue at roughly 2.79, assessment of 60% rate over those 5 years. I don't know if those are different than Derek's numbers, but I would go with his. He's probably better at this than I am. As far as our impacts, we'll have increased local purchasing and vendor spending. I know you mentioned Jamil. Jamil is one of our vendors. We actually work with them, and we're part of the driving force of their packaging machine that they put in. We also have indirect and induced job creation as a result of some of the work that we're doing. So we're working currently on revitalizing our industrial site. I know that some of you probably remember that 919 Cleveland Street warehouse before we knocked it down. It was ugly. So our new building is a modern warehouse that looks good from no matter where you're standing. And that's our intention with our industrial site as well. We're looking at making our facility one of the manufacturing food production hubs for United Pet Food. And, you know, currently it is our U.S. headquarters. So we bring lots of vendors in and customers in to show off, and we take them out into the city to show off this lovely city that we work and live in. We appreciate all of the long-term partnerships that we see with the city council, as well as the economic and city planning team as well. We believe this investment will further strengthen Mishawaka's economy while creating lasting opportunities for decades to come. We are sincerely grateful for the city and community's support to date and respectfully request the council's consideration and approval of our abatements.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Ms. Hahn.
Not a question, just a comment, and congratulations on the warehouse being
Thank you.
almost done. And you're right, it does look really good. As a pretty immediate neighbor, I can almost see it probably from my backyard. It does look really great. This new project, you said it's going to mirror that warehouse as aesthetically, colors?
Yeah, so gray and blue is really our aesthetic within the company. So the tower that we're looking to put will be the same type of gray building with navy blue on it with the United Pet Food logo, yeah.
I know one step at a time, hate to get in front of too far ahead, but are there any other plans for the rest of that block? As many of us know, there's some older buildings there that I know we've discussed. Is that maybe in the future blueprint to make those gray and blue too?
I would love the opportunity to make more of the block gray and blue, but at this time, we have had little to no success on those
Well, it's
conversations.
looking really good, and thank you also for being such a good community partner. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Mrs. Volker.
Thank you. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One, I wanted to make sure I understand the jobs. So from the abatement that we provided last year, what was the job requirement?
Ooh,
Maybe that was a better Derek question.
I think it was the abatement from the previous one was mostly focused on the building from a real property, but I have to be honest, Kate, I don't have that information. We are creating jobs as a result of that warehouse.
So
Yes.
that was my question.
Yes.
Kind of follow-up to that, so I can get that information. But the 30 jobs or 26 or whatever, however many jobs that you have open now, are those the jobs that you're including in the jobs that you're adding with
So
this
we-
proposed new abatement, or are you?
We
thinking-
intend to increase more than what we've got currently posted. So currently, we have a lot of business, we need more employees. So as we're looking to staff up for some of this new equipment that we're bringing in, some of it is for this particular abatement that we're discussing today. Some of it's in relation to the warehouse that is existing currently. I believe I'm going from 14 warehouse workers to 28. So I have 14 of those positions that are actively posted today are related to warehousing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then this is unrelated, but I just had a question, because I did drive by, and I know this isn't the best time of year to install signage.
Yeah.
But do you have any idea when that new signage is gonna go in?
Yeah, so we're waiting for the ground to thaw.
Okay.
So that's the big thing. The first chance that we were able to get, we couldn't install the signage because the padding wasn't done. So we couldn't direct people to go around and pull in because we didn't have all the concrete poured. Now that the concrete's poured and once the ground is thawed and we can put some concrete down to actually drill into it and put the signage up, the signage is ready. They're actually just waiting for us to say, go ahead and do it. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Violi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Amanda, on the last building, I think we asked if local companies are going to be used. I think you said yes.
Yes.
Is that going to be the same for the real estate?
The idea is to have as many local companies support us. So we have bid out with a number of the local construction companies on the drying tower. And we continue to use local, like, electricians and plumbers, and for any of the, like, some of the packaging or different things that get installed are just, I need some electrical run for it or something along those lines, and we always go with local companies for that, yes.
For the building part, you think it'll be local also, the actual construction?
Yeah, we've built it, bid it out to a number of local builders on those, yeah. And even if we had a firm that was over, they also are still trying to bid with the local unions to support our building.
And I wasn't on the council before, but the issue was about the pieces of equipment that were supposed to be installed for odor control. Any of this $19 million, well, let me ask you this. Is the odor control better now? I think you had heard that you don't manufacture the same product that was causing the biggest stink. Would
Yeah,
that
we
be
do not
accurate?
manufacture the same material. We did install odor mitigation under wellness, as the council probably is aware. It just wasn't installed the way that the original people that came in front of council and said, oh, it's going to be 100 foot in the air and it's going to do all these things. That's not where the odor mitigation is. We have no intention of moving that. But we have had very limited issues related to odor, and as soon as we're notified, we do resolve it timely. And we have the learning part of that odor mitigation system has actually working better now as we've worked through things.
So nothing new in the personal property coming in?
Yeah, so we're upgrading dryers. Our dryers
Sure.
currently
Okay.
are older than I am. I don't know what that's going to translate to, for the odor discussion, but I would expect that a more efficient dryer with better cooling and changes will impact. I just don't know how it will, and I don't want to make any promises regarding that.
And you said that the current, the building that's being finished now, that it's gonna be able to dock how many vehicles?
We'll be able to have 18 trucks at the dock, and we also have a truck pad behind the building that currently, even when it's not finished, we've been housing about 10 trucks there.
Now, I've just had a little bit of feedback from some people saying that some of the traffic in the morning, especially on Logan and 11th Street, has been backed up. Is this going to alleviate it, and will the future expansion help alleviate it? I don't know how bad this problem is. I just kind of hearsay, and I just was wondering if you've been made aware of it and if you're doing anything about it, and will this do anything about it?
Vic and I talk frequently, especially when we had weather issues where we had some backups. But yes, so the first, yes, the new warehouse has alleviated a lot of the problem. We have additional laneage over along the side of our warehouse, but the traffic, to reference the signs that Kate has mentioned, those are supposed to direct the truck drivers to the back of our building. They'll come down 11th, turn down onto Cleveland, and enter off of Cleveland, which will make it so that it's easier for truck drivers to actually it's a one-way in, one-way out traffic pattern that will allow us to have them turning left into Cleveland instead of trying to turn left into our 9 off of 11th. And so that's going to alleviate the traffic. We also have this additional pad that just got poured, plus 18 dock doors. So that's alleviating at least the ship out traffic that we have. We'll also still have 12 dock doors on the 1025 11th Street building. The part of this current abatement that we're here to discuss is actually that will help is we are doing bulk receiving upgrades. So this will allow us to turn the bottom hopper trucks that end up sitting outside on the park on the road, parked along the side of our fence line, quicker, because currently our capacity to unload is lower. So we have a bunch of trucks that show up, usually not when they're scheduled to arrive. And then because I can only unload one truck at a time, it takes a little while to unload it. I do get a backup of that. So the new upgrades that we're doing in relation to bulk receiving will help with that as well. So I'm hoping long-term that it'll be able to turn those out as quickly as we're able to do the shipping side as well.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Other questions from the council? Mrs. Turnwald, it's always good to see you. And has been said, I also appreciate the work that you do to help make United Pet Food.
Thank you.
I have to check the new name.
Okay.
You're
that facility.
a good corporate citizen, and the community outreach that you've done since the change in ownership does not go unnoticed. So I appreciate that. I struggle a little bit with the traffic. I feel better about that component, haven't heard your explanation.
Yep.
But I do think that it's fair for us, when we're being presented with these requests, to look at the totality of the impact that a business has on the community. And while that may not be the worst problem that we're confronting in the city of Mishawaka, I do think this is an opportunity for us to advocate for those type of issues to be improved. So I appreciate the explanation on that, but I will tell you from my standpoint, if this is approved as we would move forward, ongoing review of how that traffic, as your business thrives, is impacting the surrounding neighborhood. I think it's fair game for us to consider that as we go through the compliance process, again, if this is approved. Probably the bigger issue that I struggle with is the odor control. And I take at face value your explanation, and I've always found you to be a very trustworthy person, and I appreciate that. What I struggle with is how in 2021, when the prior corporate entity was in front of us, that was such a big point of emphasis. Now it becomes less of a point of emphasis. And that, again, I think is an additional benefit that is really important to me, and I suspect really important to the council, and I'm pleased to hear that there's improvement. Ms. Hahn lives in close proximity to your facility. Mr. Emmons lives in close proximity, and I am confident that Mr. Emmons in particular would let all of us know if the odor problems were what they were in the past. So that's the good news component. What I worry about is that decisions that are made beyond the local level here with regard to the product line and what you're doing to address the odor, if those decisions change, then we're faced with the specter of granting a tax abatement and then having the odor problem rear its ugly head.
Yeah, I think to really allay some of those concerns is this isn't wellness where decisions are made not locally. The decisions that are, while we have 26 facilities and are part of a large European entity, the decisions that are being made for the Mishawaka facility are being made by myself and Elodie, locally, on-site, all day long, every day. So this isn't something where you don't know the face of the people making the decision for what's best for our facility, what's best for our community, what's best for our customers. Everything that's being made from a decision perspective is being made locally, and that's how it's done at all United Pet Food facilities, not alone for the U.S. So
I appreciate that, and that sincerely gives me an enhanced sense of confidence that the traffic issue will continue to be addressed and the odor issue will not rear its ugly head to the extent that it can be controlled. Just as I mentioned with regard to the traffic, if in fact this is approved, that odor component also in my mind is going to be a big factor that I'll be interested to hear about as we would go through the compliance review process and see how things are going. But again, I want to congratulate you and the local management of this facility for meeting or exceeding those targets with regard to investment and payroll and jobs and the things that you have committed to do. The odor control component was a blip in the road and very uncharacteristic with regard to the long-term relationship that the city of Mishawaka has had with the various companies that own that facility, and I give you a lot of credit for that. You've been the constant during some periods of change, and in my mind, that's a good thing. So I appreciate that information, but again, moving forward, as important as the dollars and the cents are going to be, at least in my mind, continuing to provide us with that additional information on the traffic control and on the odor control. If I don't hear from Mr. Emmons about it, hopefully I'll hear from you that all is well, and that's what I hope will be the case.
I'll send letters with my messenger to you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments, Mr. Viola?
One last question. Circling back to what Kate was asking about jobs, you said something about robotics that will make your jobs easier. They're not robotics that are going to replace people.
No, so we have a very highly automated facility currently, and we're replacing old equipment. So we have robots that are aging and need to be replaced. So all of our equipment that we're putting in is to upgrade the equipment that we have, not to create new. There will always be people at United Pet Food. It's not something where we're upgrading to remove. Quality is really important to us. So robots are great, but they can't tell you whether something's good or not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? If you would, please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone with us this evening who wishes to speak in opposition? Please come forward. And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak? If not, then I call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
This is regarding Resolution 2026-05. Mrs. Hazen?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Ms. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Violi?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
The resolution passes 8-0. Resolution R 2026-06, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, making a final determination and confirming the designation of areas within the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, known as 1121 and 1025 West 11th Street, an economic revitalization area for purposes of personal property tax abatement.
Thank you. With that, we will open the public hearing on proposed resolution 2026-06, and the record will reflect that Mrs. Turnwald's earlier comments are incorporated by reference into the public hearing on this matter as well, but she does remain in the chamber subject to question by the council. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor, if you would, please come forward to the podium. And Mr. Spear, if you would like your comments to be incorporated by reference, they may be as well. So noted for the record. Then is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Seeing no one, is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone with us then who wishes to speak in opposition? Please come forward. And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak? Again, I want to thank Mrs. Turnwald for her participation this evening and the information that she shared, and Mr. Spear and staff for the information that they provided. I am inclined to support this. My concerns that I expressed earlier aside, I do find United Pet Food to be a good corporate citizen. I do, however, think that moving forward, this is, in light of the discussions that we've had in this chamber in recent months, perhaps a year, with regard to the unprecedented financial challenges that we're facing as a community, I think it's an opportunity for the council and the administration to engage in a review of our tax abatement processes and the way we have handled these abatement requests in the past. That is not an indication that I think there's anything wrong with what we've proposed here or what we have done in the past, but I think it's an opportunity for us to look at whether, in light of those unprecedented financial challenges, that the 5-year abatement cycle with the percentages that we talked about perhaps need an adjustment. Rhetorically, rather than a 60-40% split between taxes abatement and taxes paid, is a 50-50 split more appropriate in this era of unprecedented financial challenge? That's a rhetorical question. I'm not suggesting that it is, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to engage in an internal interactive process to see whether we're still all comfortable with the path that we've gone down for some time now, or whether there is some adjustment that we should make. But I do appreciate the work that went into this. Again, I'm in favor of this and look forward to voting in favor of it this evening. Any additional comments from the council? Then hearing none, I will call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mrs. Hazen,
Yes.
Mrs. Volker,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Benicki,
Yes.
Ms. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti,
Yes.
Mr. Violi,
Yes.
Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. With that, we will move into new business. And at this time, due to the impending resignation of Joel Dendu, who has been our council appointee to the Board of Zoning Appeals for many years and has done an admirable job on our behalf, it is incumbent upon the council to make another appointment to the BZA. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion. Mr. Violi.
I'd like to nominate Carly Chelminiak.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Motion has been made and seconded to appoint Carly Chelminiak to the Board of Zoning Appeals on our behalf. All those in favor, well, I'm sorry, we'll take a roll call vote in light of Mr. Carroll's participation remotely. Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the appointment of Ms. Chelminiak to the Board of Zoning Appeals?
Mrs. Hazen,
Yes.
Mrs. Volker,
Yes.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Benicki,
Yes.
Ms. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti,
Yes.
Mr. Violi,
Yes.
Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes.
The appointment passes 8-0.
Thank you. Is there any other new business to come before the council? Ms. Hahn?
Since Woody is not here tonight, I would like to invite everybody to the First District meeting, which is this Thursday at St. Bevo's Church, 7 p.m. We have State Senator Dave Niskotsky coming to speak. That is open to anyone in the city who would like to participate. And as always, we will have free West End donuts.
Thank you. Other new business, Mr. Mamalenti.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a brief reminder regarding the Twin Branch Neighborhood Watch meeting that will take place this month, Wednesday, the 18th at 7 p.m. This will be held at Fire Station Number 4, which is located on Harrison near Hum School. Our speaker this month will be Matt Lynch, who is the Executive Director of Development and Government Affairs. speaking on many topics, but more specifically on the utilities, and give any details or questions that residents may have. This is the Twin Branch Neighborhood Watch meeting, but all residents are welcome. 7 o'clock, Wednesday, the 18th.
Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the council? The hearing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you.